when it comes to the best receivers in college football going into 2024, man, there's a wide receiver who deserves to be mentioned in that conversation, who nobody ever talks about, man. I'm tired of you guys sleeping on this wide receiver. And the dude I'm talking about is the Colorado killer, Tory Horton, man. If you guys watched that Colorado game last year when they were going up against Colorado State, you remember who this Tory Horton dude was. He had number 14. He was killing Colorado on every play. I promise to God, it seemed like every time Colorado State threw the football, it was going to Tory Horton, bro. He was eating those boys alive. And they always say, like, Deion Sanders, anytime you go up against Colorado, everybody's going to be paying attention. And they always say, great players make the biggest noise when the lights are the brightest. And that's the example of what Tory Horton did when he went up against Colorado last year. Like, he was a man amongst boys. He had 16 catches for 133 receiving yards, a touchdown. This dude is the most underrated wide receiver in college football, and it's not even up for discussion, man. He had a game last year where he had over 200 receiving yards. And on the season, he finished with 96 receptions, 130. And on the season last year, he finished with 96 catches, had 1,136 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns. And yet, he doesn't get mentioned in a name. And he doesn't get mentioned with names such as Luther Burden, Emeka Egbuka. Like, he deserves to be up there in that conversation. And I was really surprised that he didn't end up declaring for the NFL draft or transferring, because he's good enough to start on any team in college football. Like, if he was in the transfer portal, he would have got offers from Ohio State, Alabama, whoever needed a wide receiver. He would have gotten some offers, and he would have got a big NIL payday, man. Like, this dude is good enough to start on any team in college football. Great route runner, elite separator, has glue for hands. He's incredible after the catch. And he can play slot and outside receiver also. And I had a first-round grade on him last year. So with him coming back for one more season, I expect him to be one of the best receivers in next year's draft class. And he probably isn't going to be a guy who gets a lot of attention until around like the Senior Bowl down there in Mobile, when he ends up making his name become a household recognized name. Because a lot of the people don't know how good of a wide receiver Tory Horton is, only because he plays in the Mountain West. And let's be honest, a lot of us don't give a damn about the Mountain West Conference. We're not watching too many Mountain West Conference games unless you're just up late at night and you got nothing else better to do with your life than turn on Mountain West Conference football like me just because you love football. But if you got the opportunity, watch you a few minutes of some Tory Horton highlights. Like, this dude is a stud, and I believe that he deserves to be talked about way more than what he does. He actually doesn't get mentioned at all. I always see people on X asking, who's the best wide receiver in college football? Who's the most underrated? And I never see Tory Horton's name mentioned, bro. Like, y'all need to do your homework on Tory Horton and stop sleeping on this dude.